At the very end of Africa, and for a group of young adventurers, an international nature project that covered the world's most dangerous oceans and most of its continents is almost over. On the Dutch ship Oosterschelde, different groups of young conservationists have come aboard to recreate a voyage that took the naturalist Charles Darwin almost 5 years. The organisers of Darwin 200 hope that those they call Darwin leaders will help to shape the future of our natural world.
It's in a way indescribable just to be a part of a cohort of such impressive people on such an impressive ship in the most beautiful places in the world.
Creating the next generation leaders or connecting them, and that must be our legacy.
2 years around the world retracing the travels of Charles Darwin and hoping to see the world perhaps as he saw it, as a place of wonder in need of greater examination. I'm David Foster. Welcome to Beyond Borders. From England in 2023, they'd set off to follow in the footsteps of history's best-known naturalist, Charles Darwin. From Plymouth to South America and Brazil, with humpback whales for company. Through the South Atlantic, taking in the Falkland Islands and the icy oceans even further south. Next, heading north and up to the Galapagos Islands, forever linked to Darwin's name. And if the Oosterschelde's crew may have longed for company at times, their wishes were to be granted by playful schools of dolphins near Easter Island. Their mood in stark contrast to the scowling sentinels nearby. Tiny Pitcairn Island follows with its one remaining giant tortoise known as Mrs. Turpin or Mrs. T, brought from the Galapagos and who could be well into her 90s. Fiji, New Zealand, and then the modern majesty of Australia, with the sails of Sydney's Opera House 1,000 times the size of anything the Oosterschelde could offer. Next, the violence of Cape Horn, where countless ships have been lost, and emperors of their own land in South Georgia, before 5 weeks at sea, and eventually South Africa. 4.5 years into his voyage on HMS Beagle, Darwin arrived in South Africa and put ashore at Simonstown, just along the coast from Cape Town, on the 31st of May, 1836. Now it's the turn of the Oosterschelde. And there today to unveil a bust of the then 27-year-old explorer, Charles Darwin's great-great-grandson Andrew Darwin, who's there with his wife Lucy. If you could sum up, and it's almost impossible with a life such as the one led by Charles Darwin, what do you think he left behind? What would it be?
To put forward brave ideas, test them, possibly accept where he was wrong, and then but to always be forthright and brave about his conclusions.
What do you think of the sculpture?
I think the sculpture is fantastic.
Somebody said it looks like you.
Well, you can be the judge of that.
Our son managed to fail his exam on evolution.
What?
Yes.
Tell me that again. Start that one
He
again.
was teased mercilessly.
Start
at
that one
school.
again.
Our son, when he was at school, he failed his exam on evolution and was teased mercilessly by his, by the other kids in the school. But
Has he got better?
he's now he's extraordinary. He's a mathematician of some note and a computer scientist, and just got his PhD from Oxford. So I think he's doing quite well.
Back on board the Oosterschelde are some of the young conservationists examining animals and plants here that are in danger and looking for ways to protect them.
They lose habitat like bit by bit because of like human activity. And
They've tried to find 18 to 25-year-olds from as many countries as there are in the world. Those here are from Tunisia, Madagascar, Israel, Mozambique and South Africa.
It's been a testament to leadership and also taking a seat like in the back and working behind the scenes, directing, trying to tell a story in the short timeline that we have, but really impressively seeing how it comes together and inspiring others as well.
And work with.
And as they get ready to start their research, the young leaders are briefed on what to expect.
They need to film the footage for the 3 films, so that's why today is very important. They need to come up with scripts for the 3 films.
We're then invited to watch one of the short videos that has already been made.
My name is Manali Pil. I'm a Darwin 200 leader and a National Geographic Young Explorer.
It's with the rapidly disappearing African penguin that we get to see the work of one of the young conservationists.
When the chicks become bigger, both parents might go out.
One must go and find food. So if it takes a day or 2 not returning with food, and then the one that is sitting now babysitting, it's got nothing to feed the chicks. Then it's got no choice but to leave the nest and try and find food.
The penguin population is down by 98% because of overfishing, habitat loss and climate change. Fewer than 20,000 birds are left.
It's crazy how before I come here, I've never seen a whale and a penguin in real life. And just by being here and experiencing this, it's so scary to know that the next generation might not ever see this.
Near Cape Town, they take in the sick and the injured.
He just came out of the wild very recently, so that's why they were really struggling to catch him, because he's not friendly. He doesn't want to be here. He's very angry. There he goes. But he's only got 1 foot on the one side. They look cute. They look cuddly. Did you have to get to hold a penguin in comes by?
Yeah, I just held them for the expert to feed him, but not really like a cuddle penguin.
And did you get any bites?
Not really,
okay? Oh,
no.
well
they
done.
were super friendly. They gave me the friendly ones.
There are 100 things that need to be fixed so that they can survive. But yeah, there are lots of people working on it. And so we're quite positive that a lot of the right work's being done, but more work needs to be done. Even with so much effort, the population keeps going down.
Some have survived shark attacks. One was hit by a car. This particular penguin, the one who's just stood up on the green mat, well, if you take a look at his left flipper, he can hardly use it. They discovered an air rifle pellet in his shoulder. And in 24 hours' time, a specialist surgeon is going to be brought here to try and take it out. If that operation works, they think he could be back in the wild later this year. But it wasn't to be for the one they call 69. The nerve damage is too severe, and after the operation, vets decide he'll never make it alone, and it would be better if they ended his life. There are others that can't return to the wild because of lesser injuries, and they'll spend their lives here. Chicks that are born at the centre are strong enough at 6 months old to be taken to what's called Stony Point and allowed to find their way to a life in the ocean.
Do any of them turn around and come back?
Some of them does come back because they're not familiar with the surroundings or the area they're in.
But you have to just leave them then?
Yeah. We try to do the release and then walk away. So they have their own way how to figure it out. So we don't want to intervene too much because they're still wild animals, so we keep it as wild as possible. We try to.
It is a place where some penguins still left in the wild can live and breed in man-made shelters, and where they're watched to see that they come to no harm. The birds are also known as jackass penguins because of the donkey-like sound that they make. The chicks are called nestlings when they're born and then baby blues. And even though they've grown up with humans for company, it hardly takes a moment for instinct to take over. It's not just the birds that need help. Beneath the waves, another story is being studied. In the shadow of Table Mountain at Cape Town's aquarium, there are sea turtles of all shapes and sizes. From the tiniest, which weighs less than a slice of bread,
we are sitting at 7.6 centimeters.
To a brute known as Fernando Habanero Enrique Diaz. This 77-kilo loggerhead was rescued early in 2025 and needs an operation for arthritis in one of his flippers. His treatment's being followed by Yudmila Chungwane, a Darwin leader from Mozambique.
In my area, we don't engage a lot with turtles. The turtles are quite extinct. And we have seen more turtles, like I've seen, I think, 2 turtles in the wild, which is quite bad.
Why do you think there aren't many turtles for you to see underwater now?
Climate change, for sure. The consume of plastic, the pollution that we are causing.
Habanero's too heavy for the vet's table and has his operation on the surgery floor.
Every turtle, irrespective of the sex and the size, is valuable, and as far as we can make a difference, we are going to make a difference for every turtle we can.
Yeah, this is a feisty one. He gets angry quite quickly and then he'll snap at you. Hi, my boy.
So he's got a infection in his joint, so we're going to be cutting open the joint. So everything that's sort of in there that's dead and necrotic and infected, we're going to try and scrape that out. Sometimes we find what we call the sequestrum, so it's just a chunk of really dead necrotic tissue that's stopping healing. So if we find anything like that, we're going to be taking it out.
The procedure, we're told, went well, and after rehab, they expect Habanero to be released. Turtles, penguins, and great white sharks, they're all in danger off South Africa's shores. This man's job is to sound a warning if he spots any great whites, but he hasn't seen one in 4 years, explaining that they're believed to have been targeted by bigger predators, pods of orcas or killer whales, which are said to rip out the sharks' livers after hitting them side-on at great speed.
You reckon from here down there you could spot one?
Yeah, definitely.
This coastline was once known as the best place in the world to see great whites, and as well as the orcas being blamed, so too the human practice of installing shark nets to keep swimmers safe. As many as 30 great whites a year in this area were unintentionally trapped in the nets and died. That, in turn, led to fewer births and an overall decline in the great white population. As well as the unveiling of the Darwin bust, a play about the naturalist's life, and other official events, there's to be an 11-hour trip on board the Oosterschelde from Simonstown to Cape Town. It took 2 years and cost maybe $1.75 million to change her into a floating research laboratory. The 2 anchors weigh 1.5 tons and are on 90-meter chains, a reminder of when this Dutch workhorse carried cargo worldwide more than 100 years ago. Coal, bricks, herring, and tropical fruit. The voyage had been postponed for several days because of storms, but even this trip isn't flat calm. In fact, it's anything but plain sailing for our cameraman, Mehmet.
How do you feel, Mehmet?
Oh my god, it's the worst feeling.
Do you know you're the same colour as your jacket?
They say that.
We have now left behind, thankfully, the Cape of Good Hope, the Cape of Storms, close to where the Atlantic and Indian Oceans meet, a place of high seas and tall tales. Legends like that of the Flying Dutchman, a ghost ship never able to make port and doomed to sail around the Cape forever. Any sighting of the Flying Dutchman from another vessel supposedly foretells imminent disaster. Darwin was planning to be a priest before he left England, but what he saw on his voyage made him change his views on creationism as determined by God. He came to believe in natural selection, where those most able to adapt would evolve and change their original characteristics over multiple generations. He studied hundreds of species, but would never have seen this kind of human-animal interaction. An entertainer being paid by tourists as he puts a fish between his lips and feeds it to a hungry beachgoer. Cape seals have been found to have rabies. And there are concerns that an ill animal could bite and infect one of the other breeds of seals found in local waters, and perhaps that the illness could spread worldwide with the way that seals migrate. This was filmed at a beach near Simonstown recently. Try to get to what's called Seal Island, but have to turn back because of the waves. Instead, we're taken to a harbour next to where a Darwin cameraman had filmed that seal taking food from the mouth of a man.
We saw this massive increase in the number of unprovoked seal attacks on swimmers, people walking on the beach and things, and we didn't really understand what was going on. And for a long time we didn't consider rabies because rabies has not ever been found in a marine mammal population before. We had 4 seals that we were euthanized, and we decided to test those 4 seals for rabies, and 3 of the 4 came back as rabies positive. It's a very unpleasant disease for them as well. I must admit, they suffer a great deal, and so one of the things we try and focus on as well is the welfare of the animals, is to put them out of their misery as quickly as we can, because they get severe injuries from the aggression and the kind of neurological symptoms that they get. They bite rocks, they attack fences, and so they often break their teeth, they break their jaws. It's a very unpleasant disease, yeah.
I don't suppose this is anything you ever thought you'd have to deal with.
So I think we're just learning slowly every single day. We hope it's a slow burn infection, so it's kind of like what they've seen in other animal populations where kind of flares, dies down, flares, dies down. But we honestly don't know. We'll learn over time. And the difficulty with seals is we can't vaccinate them. They all look the same. There's 2 million of them. You have to do 2 vaccines. You have to do booster shots, so it's not possible. So yeah, that to me is the saddest part, is that rabies is now in the seal population. And some of the worst suffering I've seen in animals has been in seals that have either been infected by rabies or have been attacked by another seal that has rabies, because they will bite each other's faces off almost. It's really awful when you see the level of suffering that comes with the disease.
One of our guides explains that she and other snorkelers were bitten by seals that they didn't know were already infected. Fortunately, the virus was not transmitted.
I think we were very lucky. My wetsuit protected me, so I was very fortunate for that, for getting bitten in the water.
But your skin was broken.
Skin was broken at the time. We didn't know about rabies, so we got our tetanus shots, and then we're very fortunate that nothing else happened.
The problems being studied extend to land. Morissette is from Madagascar, where native lemurs are disappearing because of humans using land that once was theirs. She says the same is happening with baboons in Cape Town.
My name is Morissette Ratsaupel. I'm a Darwin leader, and I moved from Madagascar to Cape Town to look for cohabitation with human and baboon. The waterfall troop in Simonstown has started a war.
And they are like fearless.
You can't leave your windows open, you can't leave the doors open.
This house here next door, they were 5-6 times already. And they break that window.
I'm fine with them being here, it's entertaining.
They belong up there.
They are part of the Simonstown.
Darwin said that imagination is one of the highest prerogatives of man. The team involved in the project that bears his name hoped that what those on board have seen will lead to as yet unimagined changes to the way we treat our planet.
What do you think the overall lesson of Darwin 200 feet?
We've seen so many things in so many parts of the world, and people get really, really enthusiastic about the motivation of these Darwin leaders. So creating the next generation leaders or connecting them, and that must be our legacy.
And so, after more than 700 days and 43,000 nautical miles, a project the like of which hasn't been undertaken in almost 200 years, ends back in southern England.
It's so wonderful to see the ship safe and sound, everyone happy, everyone aboard. It's sad because it's the end of the voyage, but when you look back and see all the things we've accomplished over 2 years, it's also absolutely a moment of real happiness and pride as well. So a real mixture of emotions.
Those behind Darwin 200 hope that what we're seeing is the origin of a new breed of conservationists and an evolution of understanding about the world in which we live and the best ways to protect it.